Hello, hello, can you hear me?
I'm in a different place, so the audio might be funny.
As am I. As am I.
It's not very well treated.
I'm in bed with Dan right now.
Right.
Dan, why are show notes 15 pages?
We don't waste time. We are organized.
And this is 15 pages. This is 15 pages at 9.5 font. This is wild.
This is how detailed we get with our research.
Uh-huh.
Let me just zoom in here. Command Shift plus.
Or you can just do this, Dan. You know you can just
No.
do
Don't
this.
change the text. Just zoom into the thing. Yeah. Tech illiterate people.
Is that better?
No, it's not. You see, look at all the wasted space on the side. I'm just finishing my food. I know people have complained about eating on the pod. Do you guys want a podcast or you don't want a podcast? Because if I have to choose between eating and recording.
My food just arrived. I can't even eat it because of that. And I'm sick. I'm so sick, guys.
Apologies for missing last week, but as the saying goes, life, it never die. Women are my favorite guy.
What happened last week again? Oh, yes. I had a meet. Wait. What was last week?
Let me tell you what happened last week. Last week, Phil just sent a message saying, oh no, can't record, had to travel for a meeting. Open Instagram.
Oh,
jiggy,
snap,
jiggy.
I forgot. Oh, let me tell you the story. Okay.
Jiggy,
Should I
jiggy,
tell the
open
story now or should I
Instagram.
tell
30
later?
minutes later, Phil is live at Bauer.
No, I
So
was
don't
at
tell me
Bauer.
about no meeting. Just say you wanted to
no,
go to Bauer.
Dude, I was actually cool because, one of my close friends, he had an album dropping. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, Phil, can you please come through to Joburg? My album's dropping. I need your support. I was like, I'm a little busy. It's actually going to be a funny story, and then we'll get to the podcast. Anyway, long story short, Murda was launching his album. So I had to go to Murda's album launch. Great vibes. Shout out to Murda. Shout out to his team. Immaculate vibes. The album sounded amazing. There's a song he played that I hoped was on the album. It's not on the album. I need to find that song. Murda, when I see you, I need that file. Because that song is insane.
The game of Zimbabwean podcasting.
And then
Shout out to everyone who will get that reference. The three of you. But anyway.
So yeah, and then after Murder, people were still enjoying the vibe. So then we went to a second location, then we went to a third location. Jiggy. Next thing I know, it's 5 a.m. And
you see,
I'm getting
Phil said,
and that's the other funny. Oh, sorry, dude, I actually forgot to mention. Oh, dude, this is why I love South Africa. So we had got tickets for Made in Jersey because the people were going with really wanted to see Calvin Moore, wanted to see Cubs at the Small. For those of you that saw, Cubs at the Small canceled his Made in Jersey festival. I hadn't seen it at the time. After Murder's launch, or before we even leave Murder's launch. No, I'm not. Let me finish it. I'll come back to Murder's launch. We end up going to Live. We get to Live because we're supporting KG. KG the Great. KG the Vibe. Dope DJ. Good peoples.
The game
After
of Zimbabwean podcasting. Hey.
After KG leaves the DJ booth, a short diminutive fellow with a papta cap takes the booth. I'm like, ha! I look closer. It happens to be Cubs at the Small. So I'm in the club. I get a Cubs at the Small set on a random Thursday. Like it's nothing. Dan.
This is what I'm saying.
Let me ask you something.
You guys have to understand. I was logging in. To start our podcast. And I was stressed because I was flying out the next day and I was not ready. I had so much that needed to be done, but I was like, nah, we got to do the pod. Even if we just do 30 minutes, it's fine. Then I just see, Phil says, no, can't make it. I was like, whew, felt some relief. Got a meeting. I was like, nah, it's all good, man. Business got to come first. It is what it is. All good. This gives me time to do what I need to do. I did what I had to do. 2 hours later, open Instagram. Phil, 30 minutes ago. Uyu, Mubawa, uyu.
I wasn't.
I was like, Philip. How can you cancel on your listeners for Bauer? Philip Bauer.
No, I'm giving them stories. Okay, and here's the next story. Great podcast story. Dan, with these new frames that I've got, do I look like someone that you know from the South African entertainment industry?
Boity.
Okay, exactly. How did you? Like, you know what I mean? You got it. You got it. So, and I'm not being funny. I actually wish I was being funny about this, but because I cut my hair and I got these frames, a friend in passing said, "Yo, at a quick glance, you kind of look like Prince KB." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Get the hell out of here. Don't insult me. Blah blah blah." You know what I mean? I think I actually do look like Prince KB because I'm at ZA. This is a popular restaurant. It's a lovely venue. That's where Murder was having his album launch. I'm at the front because I'm at a table with a certain artist. I won't put them on blast, but I'm at a table with an artist and they like right out front. So it's literally my table, the table we're sitting at. Next table is Zinchle and her peeps, right? And there's this guy standing right there. He seems to be a person of importance because the waiters keep coming to him and Murder's team keep talking to him about stuff. So he pulls me to the side and then he just says, like, I can also, you know, like it's Bob, so I can barely hear what people are saying, but I do hear him say, "Are you playing a set tonight?" And I was like, "Nah." Why you ask that? He's like, no, you must play a set, you must play a set, you must play a set. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm not really understanding what's going on right now. Then he's now talking to me in Zulu. Obviously, I have no idea what he's saying. So I'm just nodding along, pretending, "Oh, yeah. Hey, get right. Yeah, ushap. Yeah, you know." Sesfikile. You know, the buzzwords.
Mm.
Then now, this guy goes and calls his brother, who happens to be the manager of this establishment. And he's like, "Yo, this is my brother. He manages this place. He's going to book you, blah, 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 blah." And once again, I'm like, huh? Until I realize, oh, snap, these guys think I'm a DJ. They must think I'm Prince KB. So I then take a friend and I use them as an intermediary. I'm like, "Yo, oh, cool. If you want to get my deets, give them to my friend, right?" So, and she becomes the quote unquote manager. The whole night, these people were approaching my friend, begging the quote unquote Prince KB to DJ.
And it was you.
It was me. Then now, throughout the week, dog, every time I'm in the club or everywhere I'm out, people just come to me and start talking to me like, "What's up? Are you good?" And I'm like, people keep asking me like, "Yo, who do you know?" White people keep coming up to you. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who these people think I am, but I'm clearly of great import. So I'm just riding this wave.
I hear it. Okay, Phil, we don't have unlimited time, but we have some good things to talk about. And I was going to quote. I wanted to quote at the beginning of the show one of my favorite lines from musician Mad Lyrics. That even if we miss an episode, life, it never die. Women are my favorite guy. See, I was playing that before the show started, and Phil was confused. Phil, I can't believe you haven't heard that song before.
Where would I have heard such music? Where would I?
Okay, so it's not real music, although I suppose it probably is at this point. It's not real music; it's parody. I'm going to take the risk and play it because it's a parody done by an artist by the name of Kyle Gordon. Hey, let's go.
Life, it never die. Women are my favorite guy. Sex, I'm wanting more. Tell the world, stop the war. Boom, hear the bass go zoom. Have a body, feel the groove. Cyber system overload. Everybody
Movement. So that cacophony of nonsense you just heard is Kyle Gordon. He does parody music. And I've come across his stuff before, but he's trending right now because of his take on, I suppose it's Paul Simon. It's a song called Mr. Jambo. You know the thing with parody people, right? They miss like 90% of the time. But if you put enough work out there, you'll get hits. It's like Weird Al Yankovic. Ton of stuff that's like, okay, dude, that's not really that funny. But a couple of them are like, yo. Same with Lonely Island. Although Lonely Island have a lot of hits. Far more hits than misses. Anyway, that's besides the point. I want to talk about Carl Gordon right at the start of the show because he's been trending because of this latest release, Mr. Jambo, which has obviously got a lot of people in a tizzy. Mr. Jambo is he's making fun of artists like Paul Simon is it Paul Simon? Yeah, Paul Simon, Toto, artists like that who did like Africa themed songs and they were white guys. So it's just started unearthing all the stuff that he's done in the past. So that one was a smash hit from a couple of years ago. He's in this song he was parodying dance music from the 90s. This one is themed every British rapper in the 1990s. I love this one.
This is racist. This is racist. This is very racist. This is incredibly racist.
Smile for the plonkers. Can't risk it. Hey, fire! That actually, unironically, is kind of funny. Yeah, actually, a lot of his songs are a little bit like, hey, man. Because when I saw his stuff trending, I was like, wait, I remember this dude. And I was trying to remember some of the other songs that he's done. I was like, wait, some of this stuff is not very PC, shall we put it this way. But out of the many misses, he has a couple of hits. So if you've come across this, where is he from? Is he from the UK? No, he's American. Oh, yeah, he's American. Okay, cool. Of course, he's American. Yeah. So he's been making a bunch of parodies, and it's kind of hitting. It's hitting right now. He's trending right now. Anyway,
racism.
Because some of them are hits, most of them are misses. Let's start the show. I don't have my full setup, but I think I finagled something here that will work.
Good to go.
Can you hear that, Phil? You just make sure it's look at that. Capturing it beautifully.
Good to go.
Oh.
Good to go.
Sound of it, ding that. Hey. Get mad no. Hey.
I don't have everything here, though.
Good to go.
Anyway, are you guys
good to go?
Sound of it, ding that.
Let me hear a drum play.
Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is Two Broke Twimbos. My name is Danny That Guy, aka Denias, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka I'm done with these streets. Shout out Steph London and her new car, new bag. Hey, I love funding celebrities. Aka Hakuna Mumwendi Danmu.
That's right. He's not only unmistakable. Well, somewhat mistakable, apparently. The unquestionable Phil Jara gave Flynn Floss, the big boss, gave Pizza P, 16 the lawful filthy Phil. And of course, somebody take a drink. It is I, Phil. And how are you guys doing? Are you well? Are you strong? I'm a little down with a little bit of sniffles, you know. Been turning up a little too much in my old age, apparently.
These sniffles have been hitting everyone. I've been hearing unconfirmed reports of many people talking about these sniffles being much more impactful than just sniffles. Apparently, they are
unconfirmed reports. Apparently,
yeah. Apparently, this is the COVID 2026. I think I had the same sniffles. Nevertheless, we shall not waste too much time. Let's get straight into what you are here for, and that is some incisive takes on what's happening in the world around us. Let's start off by celebrating Zimbabweans and Africans doing big things around the world. Got several Zimbabweans to celebrate in the world of sport and other things. So, let's talk about the 2027 World Athletics Championships. We had an article in the newspaper that the men's 4x400 quartet of Dennis Hove, Tandazani Ndlovu, Lifat Zuze, and Geren Mushwini ran 2:59 for a national record at the World Relays. Fifth best. Oh, they were the fifth best country there, and they took an automatic qualification. So all the other countries are still going to have to qualify, but Zimbabwe and the others that also were able to immediately qualify are going to be at the World Athletics Championships in Beijing. So just thought to shout out the ones who were able to do that. Let me see. Also, Makanakaishe Charamba, Denzel Simusialela, long jumper Tafadzwa Chikomba. Let me see who else is here. Yeah, shout out to you guys for qualifying. I think there were several others as well. Then, look, I am sick and tired of this transfer season. But there are some Zimbabweans. Man, it feels like it's been going on forever. Shout out to Arsenal for getting Bruno Guimaraes. But Vinny broke my heart, man. I thought Vinny Jr. was coming. I thought it was written in the stars. But
Wait,
no.
Vinny Jr. is going where?
Arsenal.
Vinicius.
Vinicius Jr. was this
Where
close.
Real Madrid? Where Real Madrid?
Vinny Jr.
Arsenal.
Best left wing in the world right now. Arguably. Kvaratskhelia, some might say. But I would say Vinny Jr. He was this close. This close.
Guys, you Arsenal, guys, can you please be serious?
Very serious.
So
It
should I
was
be
this
talking
one,
for
look it
longer
up.
so you can chew your food then? Should I vamp for longer?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, while we're talking about the transfer
I
period.
quoted you this weekend when someone listens to the podcast. It was a hilarious moment. So you want to hear something funny, Dennis?
Mhm.
As we vamp.
There's
A
no
word
need
that
for
I'd
but
never
okay.
heard before. And apparently other people had never heard before. But ever since you mentioned it, they now keep hearing it. Chibububu. So I've got so many messages and so many conversations with people that were like, yo, ever since Dad said Chibububu, now I keep hearing it. And now I understand it. So we're at Made in Jersey. Calvin Momo was
What
supposed to
context
come
did I
on
use it in?
for vamping when an MC is trying to buy time. At Miss, we're talking about Miss Zimbabwe pageant.
Oh.
Mrs. Chibubu. And that's exactly the context that happened to us on Saturday. So Calvin Momo was supposed to perform, but he's late. And I can tell he's late. So I'm telling the people I'm with, Calvin Momo's not here yet. And they're like, how do you know? And they're like, watch and wait, you shall see Chibububu. Then they all start laughing. They're like, that's Dan's word. And for sure, there was a 20-minute wait for Calvin Momo because of Chibububu.
Oh, that's very funny. It's a pretty common word. Chibububu just means mess, like just a messy situation. In my mind, I think of football players who are just hacking at the ball. Like there's no plan, there's no strategy. It's just a bunch of people just kicking at the ball. That's
So,
the first
Argentina,
context I
what'd you
ever
say?
heard it in.
So Argentina.
Worse than Argentina, just chibububu. And then I started hearing it, the first time I heard it, I think it was in the context of football like that. And then I started hearing it describing companies that had no plan. They were just doing nonsense. They're just doing chibububu. Anyway, coming back to we're celebrating. Zimbabwe is doing it big. Shout out to, I think there's three Zimbabweans that I want to mention who are on the move during the transfer window. Several news outlets said Tadiwa Chakuchichi had Nottingham Forest, Red Bull Salzburg, and other clubs in Europe circling around him. He currently plays for Scotland FC, and he's 17 years old. So I was like, oh, snap. Apparently, Nottingham Forest Salzburg gave him a trial back in April. ESPN said that Nottingham Forest made some inquiries about him as well. So shout out Tadiwa Chakuchichi doing his thing. Don't you think that's wild? That there's Premier League scouts that are looking at the PSL in Zimbabwe. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jordan Zemura has joined Watford on a season-long loan from Udinese. I think it's subject to final clearance, but the story is that he's been accepted on loan at Watford. Who else we got? We've got there's Marshall Munetsi, Tawanda Chirewa, Leon Chiwome, and Ethan Sutherland. 4 Zimbabweans who play for Wolves. Don't you think it's mad? Munetsi's back from Paris FC on loan. Yeah, so shout out to the Zimbabweans. Shout out to Ayanda Ndlovu, a 10-year-old from Westridge Primary School who came third in the boys under 12 category at the Champion of Champions World Championships in Northern Ireland. Congratulations to you, my man. I don't know if she'd be playing golf at 10, but still, clearly you're good at it. Congratulations. And this, Phil, I thought was a great way to allow our listeners to make their own Zimbabweans doing it big. Because the United Nations has made a call for something they are calling Unstoppable Africans. So they've asked for different countries to nominate their Unstoppable Africans. So I'm just saying maybe 2 podcast hosts, possibly in the creative industries focus area, potentially. How about that? Consider us. So that's it. Can't follow up on anything from last week because we were not here. But what we would have talked about last week, Phil, is Zimfest. I don't know. Did you hear anything about Zimfest, Phil?
Just good things, you know.
I did not hear good things. Do you remember last year, after Zimfest, there was a certain news story that was circulating? Do you remember it?
The fake story.
It turned out to be a fake story, but some people were still saying that even though the screenshot was fake, the contents were not fake.
But that's wild. How can I don't trust you. That's just wild.
Hey, that's what some people said. I wasn't there, obviously, so I wouldn't want to talk too much about it. However, Zimfest was weekend before last, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, weekend before last out in the UK. Zimfest is the annual. I don't know if it can still be called a Zimbabwean festival. Call it Southern African Festival out in the UK. They reportedly had over 15,000 people attend. A lot of people attended. Just watching from my stories, just following along. I was like, oh, this is clearly a big deal. Another thing that you might remember is before Zimfest, there was a lot of conversations about the Amapiano stage. Apparently there's an Amapiano stage at Zimfest. And, in light of the situation happening in South Africa with the xenophobic attacks, people were wondering if the Amapiano stage should continue or if there should be South African music. I believe it went ahead. So, and people were happy. So
some people dance, some.
There's that to report. There are several, as you can see, Phil, I've put some links after the hard work that I've done. I've put some links in our notes.
I know, Dan, you have worked tirelessly.
Really did. I have several accounts of people who attended. There were several artists that performed. Even as I was just opening my timeline, I saw several people posting from there. So yeah, very interesting. My understanding is that things went well. There were the rumors of the uncouth behavior, but hey, it's a festival. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be some level of uncouth behavior. But yeah, the Amapiano tent was busy. It wasn't boycotted. There were no issues. The one article I saw said 15,000. This one says 20,000. I don't know. It's like clearly there were a lot of people that attended.
The thousands. We can clearly say 1,000. Hey, 15,000 is a lot of people, guys.
15,000 is a lot of people. 20,000 is even more people.
That is true. Yes, I may not be a math expert, but I believe 20 is larger than 15. Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to all of y'all who attended. I would love to hear firsthand experiences of those who attended Zimfest out in the UK. If you were in the UK, Phil, would you be a regular at Zimfest?
I would think so. You know, I'd be looking for my people, my kin. You know,
What do you think, or how do you feel about people who say that they don't like getting involved in Zimbabwe drama when they're out the country?
I've heard way too many Zimbabweans from the diaspora say to dismiss it. So I think there's something to it, but I've never experienced it, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I've also heard it a lot of times, and I don't know why. I don't know what people mean, but I've seen so many people who live, especially in the UK, who say they avoid Zimbabweans in the UK, which sounds mad to me. That sounds crazy to me. And I saw several people proudly saying that you will never catch me dead at Zimfest. And mentally, I was thinking, aren't you Zimbabwean? Like, why wouldn't you go to why wouldn't you go? I don't get it. Maybe if you tell me you don't like the music, fine, that's one thing. But it seems to me that there's something about being in the diaspora and not wanting to hang out with fellow. And it's always tied to air quotes drama. So I don't know exactly what it means. I would love to hear that as well. I'm sure someone in our Patreon group will explain as soon as they hear this on the podcast. So please do. So yeah, so shout out to the Zimbos who are out at Zimfest. Let's still talk about festivals. This week was supposed to be HIFA, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, today was going to be day 3, I think. Day 3 of HIFA.
What would have been?
Yeah. So listen, HIFA, or the Harare International Festival of the Arts, has been, a huge staple on the Zimbabwean calendar for years. I believe it was founded in 1999. The last edition was 2018. I remember, HIFA was an excellent period in the calendar, as far as I remember. Anyway, it was stopped in 2018. There wasn't a lot of conversation about what was going on and so on. But earlier this year, we just saw all the HIFA accounts start saying we are back. There were news articles saying HIFA is back for 2026. And it was going to be scheduled from the 3rd to the 9th of August. Apparently, it was going to be themed up. And they had already penciled dates for 2027 and 2028. Sounded like they were serious. Like, listen, we back. But I kind of knew they were not serious because the grammar was wrong in the announcement. I know that's a petty thing to look at, but yeah, it just shows how many sets of eyes have gone over. Exactly. Anyway, so I paid extra attention because I was very curious to see who's bringing it back. I don't know who was going to bring it back. I saw the previous HIFA people were still kind of involved, but maybe not the owners, but some of the people who were involved in the planning. Because he was quoted in the news as being I don't want to mention. Yeah, I'd only seen Tafazo. I didn't know who else was involved. Tafazo is who I'm talking about. Tafazo was involved with
that singular person. How can you say people? That's person, not people.
My assumption is if a former person was involved with HIFA is now being quoted as the festival director, I was like, oh, okay, I guess they used the same team. So anyway, as late as a week and a half ago, let's say 2 weeks ago, the PR representative, Tafazo, he announced.
Wait, Tafazo is the director and the PR rep?
No, he's the PR rep. Sorry, he's not the director. He was just quoted. He was quoted as PR for HIFA. Let me actually see the.
No, but I thought Tafazo was the one bringing it back. That's what I thought. From the people I'd spoken to, Tafazo was bringing it back.
There's no Tafazo. There's. I don't want to sound like a hater, but clearly there's someone who took over HIFA. Maybe it's stuff. You never know what people are doing. But anyway, in the news, he was referred to as HIFA Public Relations Representative. Do I still have his number? Just Juma him now and ask him to answer questions.
Damn. Yeah, let's on the ground report.
No, I don't have his number.
You know what? We should actually follow up with Tandy as well. Because after she gave such a glowing review of Zimbabwe, we have questions. She must answer.
You see, Tafazo was the same position. I have him saved in my phone as media head, but it's an old phone, which is not online anymore. Anyway. Anyway, point is, we were excited. I was excited for the return of HIFA, but there was just part of me, and I didn't want to be a hater, but there was part of me that was like, listen, the PR statement that has come out just doesn't look right. Things just don't seem okay. I don't know what's going on. Well, lo and behold, when it was now just before the week of HIFA coming back, they then put out a statement on their official platforms saying
Keep in
that
mind,
HIFA...
the week you're supposed to announce acts, the week you're supposed to let tickets be available, the week you're supposed to be running, you're like, oh yeah, by the way, you see what happened was
yeah, the statement says reviving a festival with HIFA's history, ambition, and scale is a significant undertaking. As preparations have progressed, it has become clear that giving ourselves more time is the most responsible way to ensure that HIFA returns with the artistic excellence, organizational care, and sense of occasion that our audiences expect and deserve. There was no new date given.
sometimes these PR statements let you know what's going on. If you read between the lines, yeah, I don't think Ivan's coming back for at least another year, if at all. I think someone had big dreams and then they realized, oh snap, this is expensive. So finish your story, then I'll get to my theory.
HIFA was a week-long international festival featuring artists from all over the world that would come to Zimbabwe. Not just artists, but attendees. People would buy tickets well in advance. Artists would be announced well in advance. People would know. I went and watched an opera show of some lady from Italy that came and performed opera at HIFA.
Not only that, at the time, just before it shuttered, HIFA was actually not PR, not bluster, was actually one of the biggest arts festival on the continent.
100%. It was regularly listed as a must attend on the circuit in Africa. If you're into the arts, you'll go to Bushfire, you'll go to what, but you will go to HIFA.
And Bushfire at that time wasn't what it is now. Bushfire has now become what HIFA was like.
What's the one that was in Malawi? I regularly saw it was Lake of Stars Festival, HIFA. Do you know what I mean? It was counted among the top festivals.
Yeah. And on top of that, you had, just for music alone, you had 3, sometimes 4 stages just for music.
You had the main stage, you had the Coke Green, you had you had at least 4 stages
the one
of
Africa
music.
Unity, yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3 to 4. Then you had the Africa Unity Square one, and then the pop-up one. Then you'd have a theater.
Mm-hmm.
You'd then have an ancillary stage sometimes for comedy, or if comedy wasn't in the theater. Sometimes you'd even have to go all the way to Alliance Francaise for satellite HIFA events.
Let me tell people a HIFA story, right? So 2013. I can't remember the exact date. 2013, 2014. I was early in my radio journey. I was, trying to establish myself as someone in the media space and so on. But I loved HIFA. They were experimenting because HIFA normally has an MC. They were experimenting with creating an MC for every stage. So there was going to be the main MC, which was normally Asa at the main stage. Then they wanted to have minor MCs at each of the smaller stages. So there'd be an MC at the theater stages, at the different stages that they had. They had multiple stages. I think they had, it must have been somewhere between 7 and 10 stages that they had. So there was music, theater, various dance, whatever, different art like that. So I was invited to audition to be an MC. They selected me, and I was selected to be an MC for the fashion stage. I was like, oh, cool, thanks. This is a lot of pressure because I've never MC'd a fashion event, but I'm there. So I was excited. They were like, this is an experiment. We are not sure. This is not in the budget. We are not. We don't have any budgets to pay. But if you're keen, we're giving you full access to HIFA. And I was like, sign me up. There were like 3 events at the fashion stage. So I had to work for those 3 events. But apart from that, I was full access to everything at HIFA. And I was like, you know what? Whatever you would have paid me, that's probably what I'd have paid to access everything there at HIFA anyway. Anyway, long story short, this was not a well-equipped stage. It was one of the smaller stages. So there wasn't a lot of There wasn't a lot of room for backstage, the models to change, the MC.
This is taking a dark turn.
Let me put it this way. There was a lot of awkwardness. That's all I can say. It was just a lot of awkwardness. I was like, okay.
Dan, step away from the step away. Dan, you're
I'll
about
stand
to be
here.
a father.
Let me
Step away
stand
from
here.
this. Step away from this. Step away from this.
Anyway, the next year they decided not to do the multiple MCs, which kind of made me sad because I was like, hey, Asa, you guys still looking for more MCs? No? Okay, cool. Anyway, point is, HIFA was a huge festival. Lots of things going on. Multiple artists, both singers, sculptors, dancers, choreographers, poets, spoken word, actors, all of that, right? All converging on Harare for that 1 week. Lots of jokes about HIFA and the foreigners finding their dreadlocked lovers here in Harare.
Was it a joke or was it just an anthropological fact?
Anyway, when it stopped, that was kind of sad. But
you know
the
what?
announcement-
We really should dig deep into that. Dan, how has this affected the mixed race and colored community? You know, like, can you think about like how the numbers have dwindled? Like, there's so many kids, there's so many half German, half Dutch kids that have never come to be because HIFA no longer exists. Like, this is a crisis. This is actually a crisis.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we are. The week, to me, I cannot fathom how it's possible that a huge cohort, let's assume you're coming back, right? So you're maybe not going to have it as big as you had before. How are you going to have multiple international acts? That was the whole thing about HIFA. You're bringing international artists and local artists. Why was there not a single flyer, not an announcement of an artist, no stories about collaborations, no bookings anywhere, not even hints or teasers or trailers? And trust me, I was paying attention because I was interested. The week before, the PR manager is saying that, we said don't even worry about it. HIFA's next week. I'm like, what? Preparations are on course. Don't worry. The full reveal will come on Thursday, 30 July. That's what was said the week before HIFA is supposed to start.
I think this is something that we shouldn't really skip over. Tafazo has been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we've dealt with Tafazo. No bad blood, but Tafazo is an exacting individual. Like, when you're asking Tafazo for media accreditation, or even when you're a performer and you needed extra tags, Tafazo, he was adept, he was savvy, he knew the game, he understood it. So how bad are things when you're being forced to go out and drop this statement that you know is BS, that you know anyone with any common sense is going to read is BS. And you're like, Shaq, guys, this is my reputation. Shaq, guys, come on, please, guys, come on, man. I got to go out more than this. Because as Dan was saying,
yeah,
putting together a festival of any scale, whether it's 100 people or 100,000 people, when you announce 6 months out, already you're behind the clock. If you're announcing 6 months out, as someone who coordinates festivals, someone who's trying to coordinate a festival now, I'm already expecting you to have your ducks in a row. As in, at the very least, your lineup. Least.
I think it's fair to say 6 months in advance, you might not mention your lineup. You might start releasing maybe.
I'm speaking to them on the back end.
Yeah, behind the scenes, yeah.
Yes. You don't have to announce your lineup, but at the very least, you should have your media plan, your rollout available. The moment you announce, it should then be tickets available here. You don't even if you guys want to take a shot in the dark, it's like Afro Nation. The moment Afro Nation 2026 ends, they start selling your Afro Nation 2027 tickets. They're like, listen, we don't even have the lineup yet. But if you want, get these tickets early and get them on the cheap. Right? Nothing of that nature was announced. There was no venue announced. As Dan mentioned, there were no partners announced. The biggest thing, which had my ears peaking up, was there were no sponsors announced. Because one thing I know about HIFA, and one thing I know about events in Zimbabwe, events in Zimbabwe definitely need a sponsorship component. Granted, it's becoming less and less prominent because of the economy, but particularly with an event of the size and scale of HIFA, if they aren't announcing launch partners, title sponsors, key partners upon the return of the festival, they're already behind the 8 ball because there's no way you're going to be able to redo a festival of HIFA scale without sponsors. Because I don't genuinely, and this is the weird dichotomy of events in Zim, events in Africa, but particularly events in Zim, especially festivals. As big as HIFA was, for all the things that we've praised it for, and it was amazing, it was huge. HIFA would not have been profitable if it were not for sponsors. That's the crazy thing, right? And which is also partly why, well, there's other reasons why, but partly some of the reasons why it ended and has not returned. And that was my biggest concern is, wait, guys, who are your sponsors? Who's sponsoring? Dan mentioned it was literally called the Coke Green because Coca-Cola bought all the rights for that.
Yeah.
There was the Old Mutual stage, the Old Mutual main stage, because Old Mutual bought all the rights to that stage. Like, there was the Zol VIP tin. No, sorry, yeah, it was the Zol VIP tins before they changed the name to Liquid. There's all these things, and these are integral for running your event. And I think Tafanzo had a tweet about it earlier, which is also something I was thinking about. It's just like, it's so difficult right now to find corporate sponsors to help support the arts in Zim. And I think when the full HIFA story comes out, obviously more will be brought to light. But one of the first thoughts that came to my mind was, yeah, I think this is also part of it. It's the inability to find sponsors probably played a big part in this. And I think maybe that's what they were hoping on. My theory being, once again, this is a theory with no evidence, is they thought that just by announcing the return, sponsors would be falling over themselves to be part of this festival based on what they saw 10 years ago. But sadly, the Zimbabwe and the HIFA and the environment that necessitated the sponsorship from 10 years ago no longer exists. So sponsors weren't falling over themselves to sponsor anymore because they don't care.
You know what? I think, and whoever's in charge of HIFA, hit us up. I think with the right PR campaign, you can build up enough interest and traction that will attract sponsors. And okay, just the name HIFA itself, right? Let's say you can't have 100 international artists. Okay, let's start small. Let's aim for 20. We have one main music stage person, one smaller person, a couple of actors, whatever the case is. Just have a few smaller ones, but just the announcement of the return of HIFA and invest in making it a good experience. Start attracting the sponsor. In my mind, it almost feels like a no-brainer. It feels like a no-brainer. You can definitely land some sponsors, in my opinion. But anyway, here we are.
Just to clarify, and I'm not saying they were unable to get any sponsors. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they were unable to get sponsorship to the level that would support a festival even a third of the size of HIFA, right? So let's say they came back and like, listen, all we're doing this year is we're doing the theater, and it's going to be a mix of plays, opera, comedy, spoken word, and the main stage, which is just going to be focused on music. Right? I think they're even struggling to get that. How many major events have we been to, Dan, in Zimbabwe that don't even have sponsors? Think about it. And without even us revealing the inside knowledge we have about the level of investment brands are putting into events right now.
Yeah, loads. Even the ones that do have sponsorship, you'll be surprised that the sponsor is... They gave them a car to drive the people from the airport. They didn't even give anything. They're the ones who are just selling Doro at the spot.
Mobility partner. And I guarantee there's going to be at least 1 to 2 major festivals. If you guys pay attention, if you look, you'll see there's going to be 1 to 2 major festivals before the end of the year that will have no sponsors at all. Keep a lookout. And then ask yourself why.
I've done sponsorship for festivals and music concerts before, and I've had conversations with people who will say stuff like, yeah, you know what? We'll come with some giveaways for the people coming. Like, bro, yeah, we'll come with some giveaways and we'll give the attendees of your festival. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need money, man. And I think okay, one, the market is a bit funny in Zim, but also two, without getting too deep into other ones, a lot of the public events in Zim aren't really about making money anyway. So
No, but that's fine. But and also those events don't. So here's the other thing that I've realized: those events don't necessarily sully the market to a certain degree, because the level of sponsorship that they give is equivalent to what you've just mentioned, or those are the events that they're going to sponsor because there's a vested interest in ensuring that a success. So they'll put cash up front, or they'll write it off, whatever that may be. And it's not necessarily a zero-sum game in that instance, right? It's not that, hey, we sponsored this event, so we can't sponsor your event. Sometimes that is the case, but for the most part, it's not, especially the events that aren't trying to make money. But in most instances, it's, you know what, we'll sponsor, but our sponsorship involves you spending money with us, and then we'll give you a discount, and then that discount will equate to a sponsorship. Which is wild when you think about it.
yeah. Okay, question. Looking at this timeline for HIFA, right? They announced the postponement on the 30th of July. HIFA was due to start on the 3rd of August. Do you think that they had secured any artists and paid them?
Nope. There's no way. There's no way I would have secured, even if I had secured my Loti. She was getting announced. There's no way. There's no way you didn't announce any artist. That's why.
So what? They failed to get.
That's
the money,
why I have
right?
that theory.
Maybe they were promised money and they were waiting and they're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and they still thought there'd be a miracle.
My theory is they thought that, listen, this HIFA brand was huge. Clearly, these guys were able to get sponsors, and people didn't really understand the intricacies of the market. And they were like, just announce we'll get sponsors. They'll come flying in hand over fist. And I say this as someone who's done events in Zim and who's also worked in SA. Especially people outside Zim, they don't understand how Zim works. So for any other event, that is how they do it. They'll just announce, we're doing this concert. And now that they've announced that concert, they've got public proof that this concert is happening, right? Outside of whatever agreements that they have on the back end. And they will go to sponsors, and sponsors will give them money. There's a major concert happening in South Africa, Dan. I won't mention it, but I'll give you enough context. You know, there's a major concert that's happening in South Africa that's sold out, but they don't have any sponsors yet.
Which
I'm
one?
going to say it on air, Dan.
Oh, I mean, but is it?
It's a really
Okay.
big event. Yeah, if you put two and two together, you know which one I'm talking about. But think about it that way, right? And that one it's not necessary, but you can see that their headache is, right now, like their headache is, fam, our concert is sold out. We've got to drum up interest for the concert. But do we need to drum up interest for the concert? Because we've already sold out. So what's the point in doing more activations that were initially planned to sell tickets when we've sold the tickets? And in the same respect, they're now commanding such a high fee for sponsorship. The sponsors are now like, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Hey, we can't afford, maybe we can't. But they're also like, it's fine. We've already sold out. The inverse here is what we're discussing with HIFA. But my point being is, Zimbabwe is such a unique market. If you're coming from an environment where you're like, listen, either one of two things will happen. Either my event is so popular, my tickets will sell out and I don't need sponsors, or I can go to sponsors when I've got the leverage to say I've already sold out tickets, right? Or I'll announce, and the public interest or interest from the marketing departments or the business departments will be able to help generate sponsorships, and then I can use those sponsorships to parlay that into more ads, to sell more tickets, etc. etc. If none of those things happen, which happens in Zim a lot, what is your other plan? Because the HIFA brand, as much as we remember it, we don't trust it. Because one thing I knew for a fact is Manuel's not coming back. If Manuel announced HIFA's returning, I'd be like, bet, here's the money now. Because I trust you. You know what I mean? But Manuel's not coming back, is he?
Yeah. Well, sad news there. And I was so sad, man, because I was so ready for it. Anyway, okay. Let's move on to better news from Harare. Police raided a residential property in Marlborough and arrested 8 men over an alleged illegal gold operation. I saw this and I was like, what? Apparently, in Marlborough, they were mining gold.
Dudes are even leaving town to go to Gaza now.
They were mining direct from someone's cabin.
Hey, but also that's wild. What is the yield?
I don't know, but shout out to you guys. Actually, shout out to you guys. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting story, and I thought I'd briefly mention it. I don't think there's too much to talk about. It's just wild that that's a thing. But yeah, apparently people are mining gold in the middle of
people are mining gold
in Marlborough there.
Yeah, have you seen the gold prices? I'd be mining gold too. So I made the mistake. One of the other things that happened while I've been here is I bumped into some very well-off Zimbabweans. I bumped into a Zimbabwean who's doing well in mining. Damn, we are living in different worlds. I saw what I'd say. I saw what I'd literally save up for a year being put inside in one night, like it was nothing. And that made me like I was literally in the club opening the gold calculator app. I was like, nah, wait, let me figure out how much this guy is making, because he had got a little tipsy and he was telling me what his yield was, right? His weekly yield because they had found pay dirt over a few months back. Yeah, damn, I don't lie. If I found some gold specks in your garden, I too would be mining.
Okay. Anyway, have you been paying attention to this Gianni Infantino story?
I don't lie to you, Dan. I don't lie to you. As we discussed with the World Cup, I was worried for the World Cup. Until the finals and the semi-final stage, I was worried for the World Cup. But I have been locked in on this drama. When it comes to drama, Dan, I've been there. I've been watching the CAF embarrass itself. I've been watching Homeboy. Homeboy from that francophone country embarrass himself. Did you see what Gayton said earlier today? Embarrassing himself. Yeah, I saw what CONCACAF said. I saw what UEFA said. I saw what the Asian Federation. Dude, I've been locked in. This Game of Thrones stuff is this is great TV. Oh, it's been great. But let's give the listeners.
What? Okay. In summary, this man Infantino, the what is he? President, CEO, head of FIFA.
No, he can't be president. It's a non-profit. He's the president of FIFA. Well, he's trying to be the CEO. He's trying to be what is he calling FIFA forward? What do you call it?
Top dog.
FIFA forward enterprises.
The top dog at FIFA is what I'm trying to say. Anyway. News broke. Some good journalist somewhere broke news that Infantino was planning on selling off stakes in the World Cup.
Shout out to the Times of London that broke the story.
That sounds crazy because, wait, does FIFA own the World Cup? Well, FIFA is supposed to be like the governing body of international football. So I guess by some definitions, yes, it does own the World Cup. Maybe, I guess. Anyway, when that news broke, there was so much outrage. UEFA came out and said they were going to boycott. They were going to boycott the World Cup. They were going to boycott, and they called on all other football groups. UEFA is the European FIFA. European FIFA. What is UEFA, Phil? UEFA is the governing body for Europe.
UEFA is the European CAF.
Anyway, so UEFA said by the way, UEFA has been had it out for Infantino. Remember when the whole story happened about Trump calling for the red card? Yeah, what's his name?
No, even before I'm forgetting, there was the other issue of Qatar and the Super League, and then there was something else that Infantino.
Yeah.
UEFA and Infantino have been beefing for years.
So it's been interesting, shall we put it this way? The moment that news broke that FIFA is trying to sell off in the World Cup, it caused a lot of anger and consternation. UEFA came out and said, "Nah, we are going to boycott enjoy your World Cup without any European countries." Then they called on other people to also boycott. CONCACAF, which is the American one, they also rejected this plan as well. Oh, by the way, so after this news broke, apparently Infantino started reaching out to all the different groups and was like, listen, come, Iowa, let's talk. Whoa, Msamanye, hold on, come, let's talk. The plan is to sell a 20% stake in the World Cup to private investors to raise up to $4.2 billion. And then he was going to offer a $20 million bonus per federation in 2027. So UEFA, here's your 20 million. CAF, here's your 20 million. CONCACAF, here's your 20 million. That was the plan.
That sounds so above board.
are,
that sounds very fair.
If that journalist had not uncovered the story, he would have done all this behind the. All you would have heard is, "Oh yeah, all of us have now agreed globally that we are going to get these American." I have no doubt that he had a massive payday from these investors.
Yeah, so the other thing that we need to so the partner for putting FIFA Enterprises into thing was Jared Kushner's little brother. And as further reporting from The Atlantic revealed, Infantino's base salary was going to be $30 million a year.
Yeah. Anyway, so CAF was the African Federation of Football, was the only one that was like, guys, let's hear him out. Maybe he's got a good idea. Because that 20 million... sounding pretty good right about now.
Members were publicly declaring support. That money was already sent. Those guys were already counting.
It's already been distributed. There's no take backsies. Oh man, what a funny story this whole thing happened. Patrice Motsepe said of Infantino, he's not just a good friend. He is a loyal friend. He is loyal to Africa. You never stab someone who has been loyal to you in the back. It just tells you how we think in Africa.
So
do you know what I mean?
I think also not to be overlooked in this is the days following this. Obviously, Infantino got into a standoff with UEFA. For UEFA immediately released a statement. The moment the story broke, UEFA released a statement speaking out against it. And then Infantino doubled down and said like, guys, we are going forward. And then CONCACAF joined, the Asian, I forget the federation joined, and then he started losing votes. So he had to calm down, quiet down and then retract. While all this is happening, his most loyal, literal PA, the one who facilitated and helped get the World Cup to America, he was the former head of the MLS. He resigns. One of the most beloved individuals at FIFA, the COO, who, according to all reports that I've read, no one had a bad thing to say about him. He was also incredibly diligent. Probably the reason why FIFA has been able to execute at such a high level is because of this guy. Not because of Infantino, because Infantino is just, he's a figurehead. He moves like a king. He doesn't actually do any on the ground work. He's not there making sure stadiums are up to snuff. He's just pitching up, taking photos and leaving, right? The COO, who many believed was the real reason FIFA was able to operate, he also resigned and they were both like, F this dude, we can't work with him. This is too much. And as Dan mentioned, what has been shocking to a lot of people, including myself, is despite all the controversies of this World Cup, the ticketing scandals and the pricing, how Trump exposed the corruption, the issues with travel visas, bans, African fans, African players being damn near strip searched upon arrival in America, African referees with full accreditation being denied entry. Even though of all these controversies, the World Cup still went on. You introduced your refreshment breaks, your hydration breaks. You had the new halftime show. that had mixed reactions, but despite all that, people were still happy that the World Cup happened. Like you already pushed the envelope
Mm.
and you won. People were happy. You had goodwill. And instead of just enjoying your victory and slowly and methodically, strategically rolling out this new plan for you to have a $30 million payday, because keep in mind, his term ends next year. So if he's not going up for re-election, this would have been a nice retirement plan for him to now run the FIFA Forward Enterprises organization. Instead of just doing that, he now bounces into this, and now you've lost all that goodwill. And also, another thing that I came across in my reading, because then I've been all over this story.
This is very
I've been
funny.
all over this story.
Why?
Because I love the drama. I love it. Oh. So do you know one of the prevailing theories, which has been backed up by many sources, is do you know how the Times found out about this story?
Mm-mm.
Infantino himself. He was so braggadocious
Mm.
and reckless about his plans and his big payday. He kept telling people at parties and cocktails at the World Cup about what was going to happen, which then led people to hear, oh, that's the plan? Those people then tipped off the reporters who then started digging. So he had already told them his plans, how much he was going to pay, how he was going to go about it. So the reporters literally just had to do the legwork.
Interesting. Well, it hasn't worked. Apparently, on the 31st of July, Infantino announced that, okay, we are not going to... Sorry. We're not going to... It's just jokes, guys. We're not going to go ahead with this plan. Don't worry. It's all good. Don't even sweat it. Apparently, the FIFA then wrote to all the members. I believe that was on the 4th of August. They wrote apologies for how it all went down. But at the same time, they didn't drop support for Infantino. So everyone was just like, sorry about the whole proposal, but yeah, that was just a misunderstanding. Ain't no thing. Sorry about that. Yeah. So that's where we sit now. Although today, the day of recording, CAF was supposed to be meeting about this issue. So I'm very curious to know what they would say in that meeting, because why is Africa... You know what I learned from this situation, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Even that language of Infantino is a friend. Africa generally has the idea of loyalty, friendship, my people, as opposed to the letter of the law, correct thing to do, etc. And by this, I don't mean that other countries don't have corruption and don't have, breaking the law and all of that. What I mean is, it seems in Africa, we are especially prone to the idea of, if that's your person, if that's your guy, if that's your friend, you got to be loyalty is the most important thing. I've always wondered, like, even in corporate in Africa, you'll hear a lot of business leaders who prize loyalty. And that drives me insane, because I get that, but this person's not good at their job. Like, why would you? To me, it makes no sense to hire someone because they're loyal, but they're not good at their job. But for many African leaders, being good at your job is secondary to loyalty.
Yep.
So anyway, let me just put it this way. It wasn't a surprise that Africa was the only one that was like, guys, Infantino's our homie. Relax, bro. Anyway, let me not speak further on that issue, because, hey. Last week, the ICC unveiled the 12 host venues for the 2027 Men's Cricket World Cup. South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia will be the hosts of the Men's Cricket World Cup from the 4th of October to the 21st of November 2027. It's the first 50-over World Cup on African soil since 2003, when Zimbabwe also had a chance to co-host along with South Africa and Kenya. The games will be played at Harare Sports Club, Queen's Sports Club in Bulawayo, and the new Fale Mosiwatunya International Cricket Stadium in Victoria Falls. Then it will also be in South Africa and one location in Namibia. So yeah, if you're a fan of cricket, it is coming home to Zimbabwe. That's good news.
Are we working this World Cup then?
Look, we
have vast experience in cricket.
We've
tournaments.
built experience in cricket events. Can I tell? Okay, quick side note. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to right now is Acquired. I've been going back through the back catalog and just listening to old episodes. If you're unfamiliar with Acquired, they release one episode per month and they take frequent breaks, by the way. So stop complaining about us. But it's a long episode, like 3 to 4 hours long. And it's like deep dives in the history of a company. So they did a special episode on the Indian Premier League cricket, Indian Cricket League, IPL. How it started, what the whole situation in India was. I was listening to that. I was like, yo, this all sounds so familiar, man. So apparently, I believe it's called the BCCI. It's the organization that was in India. It was similar to think of it as just an organization that was kind of overseeing international cricket matches. It's like, whatever. Then there's one dude. Is he a Modi? No, I can't remember what he is. Lalit. I think it's a Modi. Anyway, he bulldozes his way into this organization because he's like, you guys are leaving money on the table, bro. The moment he arrives, he gets put on the board. He completely he does a coup. He basically becomes the head chief honcho or whatever it is of the BCCI. And he's like, you are doing international matches only. Are you crazy? So he puts together this whole Indian Premier League. He changes the prices. Apparently, companies were paying like 100,000 a year for annual sponsorship of the cricket. And he's like, dude, we have over 1 billion people watching this. So the moment he came in, he like times 100 the cost of the sponsorship, and the companies were still like, all right, cool. Because they were getting so much value from it. And now all of a sudden they started off with like 100,000 a year. And then now all of a sudden they've got tens of millions of dollars. Then he introduces the IPL, and then he starts selling the rights. Disney were trying to get into India. Basically, this organization was now making billions per year, from a few 100,000 to billions per year. In a short space of time, then eventually the courts were like, okay, cool. You're a criminal. So now he basically fled the country, and he continues to say that you guys are persecuting me. I'm the one who created this whole thing. They're like, yeah, but you're not supposed to take the money for yourself, bro. Anyway, it's like the most amazing story. If you're a fan of cricket, I would highly recommend that podcast episode. Anyway, as I was hearing it,
right.
I was now hearing the introduction of T10 cricket, and I was like, this makes so much sense. Anyway, so congratulations to all cricket fans. Finally, Phil, I would like to talk about my experience last weekend when I went to go watch Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Oh, you finally IMAX'd.
In full IMAX.
I went back again as well.
I actually made an event of it. I actually went to, I believe it's the only laser IMAX. I don't know, that might be correct or not correct, in South Africa, which is at the V&A waterfront. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. Yeah, but yeah,
I don't know.
The audio in there is nice, eh? But also, sorry
it was
sorry
loud,
to detract. I have to say this because it's annoying me so much.
Yeah.
What was your experience with getting your popcorn?
Long queue.
Thank you. I don't understand. Okay, so I've had this thing, right? Granted, I'm a guy. Sorry, guys. I'm a Zimbo. I'm old school, but I've been noticing more and more.
Yeah.
That obviously South Africa. For fun fact, for those you don't know, South Africa is second only to America in terms of malls per square meter in the world, right? And so South Africa is very Americanized in that fashion, and we've seen in America in particular, how they're getting rid of humans in more customer-facing positions and putting kiosks or machines or whatever, right? And I'm seeing it more and more, and I'm wondering, like, why are you guys this is worse. I went to an F&B yesterday. The F&B has no tellers. The only way I can do banking is at the ATM. It's wild.
Okay.
I went to a KFC.
So
I'm sorry. This right. Let's continue so I can finish my rant. Sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry.
No.
But I went to a KFC.
I actually want to talk about that, but yeah, go on.
I went to a KFC on my way to watch the Odyssey, right? I go to the KFC. There's a person standing behind the counter. Stupid me. I think I see a person standing behind a counter at a fast food restaurant wearing KFC uniform. What do I think? They're here to serve me. I walk up to her. I'm like, hey, excuse me, can I get some Singer wings? She's like, oh, did you order at the kiosk? I'm like, no, I didn't order at the kiosk because I saw you standing there. She's like, no, I can't take the order. You got to go order at the kiosk. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? She's like, no, you got to order your order at the kiosk. I go to the
She's
kiosk.
probably like Zimbabweans.
No, but this is the wild part, then. I go to the kiosk. At the kiosk, you know all I do? I tap the buttons to tell her what I want to put in the order. Then it prints a receipt telling me how much my order is. I now go to the woman behind the kiosk, hand her my ticket. She tells me, oh, that's going to be 400 Rand. I give her the money. She gives me my change. Why the hell did I just go speak to this iPad? So basically, I'm now doing your job for you.
These Luddites.
Yes, I get it.
These Luddites.
No,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It's beyond your control. They're trying to introduce us to getting used to ordering for ourselves so that eventually they can get rid of you as a worker. I get it. It's not your fault. I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the system because normally what would have taken me 30 seconds to order my Zinger wings now took me 2 minutes.
Anyway,
It's unnecessary.
okay.
It's
I was
annoying.
talking
It's
about
stupid.
the Odyssey. We ended
No,
up
but
here.
this red has to come out, Dan, because now we go to Sturkinico. I go to Sturkinico. Yes, I understand the Odyssey is a popular movie, but I went during the middle of the week. Stupid me used to going to movies in the middle of the week when they're not full. Yes, the Odyssey was almost full, but not the other movies because it was the middle of the week and nothing else had dropped yet, especially not Spider-Man. So the only people at this theater for the majority of it are people who are going to the IMAX theater, which isn't the biggest theater, by
It's not
the
even
way,
big, yeah.
to watch the Odyssey. Queue winding. Like people are queuing for bread in 2008. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Surely this queue must be moving fast. I hop in the queue, then we talk, oh no, sir, you've got to hit the kiosk there, you order your package, your combo, what, you swipe, you get your ticket number, or we'll send you the receipt to your phone, then you go pick up your order. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in this queue. Showing is for 6:45. I got to the cinema at 6:20. Stupid me thinking I'm going to be early. No, Dan, I was not. Because it took us 30 minutes to get our bloody popcorn. Because now you order at that thing, you join this long ass queue that doesn't move. Because apparently when you get to the front and they know what you want, it should be faster. But it's not faster because they still spend all their time looking at the screen like, oh, okay. Instead of having a conversation with people, which is easier to remember, by the way. Oh, you want the strawberry slushy? No problem. They now have to read in small font, strawberry slushy, large popcorn, sour chips, which is another rant I have. Hey, Dan, I've got so many rants. Why are they now giving us the flavoring for the popcorn in those small ass sachets? Now I've got to pay extra because I want a few extra. Come on,
And then
man.
the whole
Guys,
movie
it's too
industry is
much.
like, people no longer go to the theaters. Well,
No, guys, it's the worst experience. So that was at VNA. I went to the same theater you went to in VNA last week. This week I was back in Joburg. I went to Mall of Africa. Mall of Africa was even worse. I made the mistake of going to watch the movie on a Sunday. The Sunday, the Spider-Man dropped. Dan, did I not spend 45 minutes in that queue?
So-
This system is not more efficient.
Hold on.
Why do they do this? I hate it.
Let me
Anyway,
explain my.
all right,
so-
I'm tagging you in now, Dan. My rant is over. I'm tagging
Okay,
you.
so I pre-bought the tickets. I went with my wife and her sister. The three of us, we pre-bought the tickets. I paid for our concessions beforehand because I didn't want to be in a queue.
So you thought, Auntie.
So I thought.
Foolish you.
Bought the tickets, paid for popcorn, drinks, and little chocolaties. Oh, lovely. Because I know this is a long movie. All good. Fun fact, I went on Sunday afternoon and everything was sold out except for one slot one slot, and there were 3 seats near the front and a couple of seats. And I was like, near the front. Anyway, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll end up going like next week or something. Let me just take them. Anyway, arrived. Long queue. I was like, look at these fools that didn't buy advance tickets. There's me trying to go inside. Oh, no, you have to go in the queue. Oh, okay. It's just that I paid for this in advance. Like, yeah, but you get the concessions there. And I was like, but there's at V&A, right? There's the VIP side. It's next to the IMAX theater. It was empty. I was like, okay. The thing is, it's already paid. Could I not get the popcorn and the drinks from the VIP? I think they call it Prestige, from the Prestige.
Yeah,
here.
where the coffee stand is. Yeah,
And they're like, no, you have to go join the queue. So I said, what was the point of me buying in advance?
Thank you.
I was like, okay. Anyway, back to the queue, and I was now getting anxiety, right? Because we're in this queue, winding it. Thankfully, it was moving quickly, but it was a long queue. I don't get it. I don't understand. You're trying to get us to buy in advance. You need that. It's good for you because then you can plan. And what I don't understand why we are still in the same queue as the people who are not buying in advance. What is the point?
No, there's no one who's not buying in advance. You do not get to the cinema without buying your ticket. That's what I'm saying.
No,
there's
tickets,
no one
yes, but I mean concessions. People are buying concessions there.
Yes.
So,
but also, once they
buy the
bought
ticket.
them
If
during
I was
the
not
queue,
buying,
okay, because you go to the kiosky thingy, then the kiosky thingy gives you your code.
Yes, okay.
At that point, you are the same as Dan.
Yes. So my point is, I didn't. If we didn't want popcorn and drinks, I could have gone straight into the theater.
Exactly.
But because I wanted popcorn and drinks, I had to join the same queue that those who didn't buy in advance were in.
I get what you're saying, and I understand. What you're saying is there should be like on a plane, the pre-boarding line.
Yes,
the business
please,
class line.
I'm begging.
But the way the system works, and it's so, that's what I'm saying, like the system is so stupid. This is a perfect example of why people hate consultants. Because I know McKinsey came up with this idea. They were like, this is going to optimize. And these idiots did not consider for the fact that, and I'm not lying, it actually takes a human long to have to look at a screen, translate it on the screen and get it. Then it's to have a conversation. I know this because I've been going to movies all my life. I've never seen queues like this before. And it's not like there's only one or two people behind the concession. The concession stands were packed. There were 6 people serving. But it takes them longer because they're not having conversations with people. It's a terribly inefficient system. And because for some reason, apparently, Sturkey Nico was clearly losing millions of rands a year on popcorn flavor. Because they were like, yeah, no, we can't continue to allow our customers to pour their own popcorn. This is too much. What nonsense is this, man? I was so annoyed.
Anyway, notwithstanding the long queue, thankfully they had like 65,000 previews, so I didn't miss even a second of the movie, thankfully.
No. So the first time I did not miss anything, thankfully. Second time I did miss Travis Scott, which I was a bit annoyed by. But also it's wild that such a good movie starts with Travis Scott.
I know, right? and weirdly, it worked. Like it worked.
No, get it. So yeah, rant's over. What did you think of the movie? Now that you've watched it, let me hear. Did you see the Chiwanu scene I was telling you about? It's proper chipping.
Yes, where they went to the... Look, spoilers ahead if you haven't watched the Odyssey. But I mean, also, it's not like there's... The movie is a relatively faithful retelling of the 3,000-year-old story.
That's another wild thing. The people complaining about spoilers, I was like, "Shut guys, I don't want to sound snobbish, but I read this in primary school.
It's like
we read the Odyssey and Iliad in primary school."
That's like, you guys, are you worried about spoiling the Bible or?
Wait, what do you mean? What happens to Joseph?
Anyway,
yeah.
Nevertheless, if you haven't watched it and you would still like to go in without spoilers in the movie, it's understandable. Skip the next few minutes. Okay, first of all, I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot understand the people who feel that it should have been, I know that no one is saying this in good faith, but let me just humor it for a second, just for the sake. The people who are saying or who feel like, it's not representing Greek culture, what, right? I was like, bro, you watched you watched a Cyclops, which, by the way, loved that scene. I love the way he looked and the practicalness. I love that. You watched people turning to pigs. You watched, can you not see this is a fantastical story? That's what it is. It's a fantastical story, and it's someone's reimagination or retelling of the story. First of all, that's just addressing that part. Second of all, I can't explain how immersive that movie is. Like, normally when you watch something, right, you're watching a movie. So you look at it and you're like, wow, that's cool. I love the way he did that. Da, da, da. I really felt drawn in, like, for the almost 3 hours that I sat in there, nothing else existed. I was in the story. The pacing was perfect. At no point did I feel bored. At no point did I feel, I don't know what's going on or anything like that. My only complaint is, that Cyclops scream was loud. That was a loud scream, bro. I was not ready for that. Second of all,
dude.
when they were the part after they ate the sun god's cattle.
Yes, on the ship when Zeus splits the ship.
I was like,
I told you. I tried to tell you about that scene. I told you.
I'm gonna get epilepsy in here, bro. This is just too much.
But did you not feel like you're on that ship?
It did feel like it was disorienting. It was loud and bright. What a brilliant movie.
You know the wildest thing is,
excellent movie.
I can reveal this. So the first time I went, the person I went with, right? They were like, yo, I've been hearing about 4DX. Let's do 4DX. And I looked at them and I was like, are you mad? They're like, no, but what's wrong with 4DX? I'm like, okay, let's go watch it first and then you'll understand. So then, after watching it, I now said, can you imagine that scene on the ship? But your seat is shaking. There's water being sprayed on you. The lights in the theater are flashing up and down.
You'll throw up.
And you feel like you're on the ship.
You'll throw up, bro.
Then they're like, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Then, luckily, or coincidentally, I started coming across 4DX videos on TikTok of people going to watch the Odyssey in 4DX. And every single one of them was like, never doing that again. I'm exhausted. 3 hours of torture.
Okay.
But yeah, that movie's incredible. And the thing is, you don't feel like it's a 3-hour movie. It's just so well paced. It's so well paced. At no point do you feel like, this movie, I've been watching this for a while.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I almost felt like it was too short. Almost, because I felt at the end of it, I was like, there's a couple of places where there could have been more detail. There's a couple of places where we could have seen. There's so much
that they edit out. There's so many islands that they don't even go to that are in the books that aren't in the story. There's so much of the stuff that he left out, which I also get because it's very fantastical, obviously. Like, in the original, there's a lot more interaction with the gods, and you actually see the power of the gods in the book.
There's even like very difficult to capture on screen things like the bag of winds. The story of how all the bad winds were captured in a bag and kept on the ship, and then Odysseus' men opened the bag, and that's why they got lost, and da-da-da-da.
So yeah, there's all that stuff that you obviously can't capture. There's also, so to backtrack a bit, but also to give context, which is one of the amazing things about this movie, right? Is what this movie is also trying to encapsulate is this is the end of the Bronze Age. And after the Bronze Age came the Dark Ages, which also brought about a dearth or a death in literacy and being able to retell things up until the middle of towards the end of the Dark Ages. Shout outs to my boy Gutenberg and everything that entailed. And because of that, it even says like these are unverifiable or unreliable tellings, right? So what Christopher Nolan does really well is he's like, this could be how we represent God. So there are things that are undeniable, like the Cyclops. You can't deny that. Or I forget the name of that 6-headed beast by the whirlpool.
The Scylla.
That's still, here we go. Still, there's stuff like that. Or what Cersei does that is clear the power of the gods. But then there's other things like you don't actually see Zeus's power. You just see lightning.
Yeah.
So it could be anyone. You don't actually see Athena outside of Odysseus. That could be just something in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's an excellent way to tell a story where like it's rooted in a reality because everything that those people said that they saw, you can, as someone once again from Chipinge gang, I can easily transpose it into stories I've heard before. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? And it's brilliant. I love the fact that the movie starts with, these people from the sea are wild. Only for us to realize that the people from the sea were there all along.
It's the friends we made along the way. I thought
that the Trojan horse was actually what brought about the destruction of not only the Greek Empire but the Bronze Age itself.
A lot of people said like it's a culmination of all of Nolan's movies. It felt very. I know you haven't watched it. It was such a parallel to Oppenheimer, where Oppenheimer, the way he viewed himself after he had made the atom bomb, it's the same way that Odysseus is like, that was me. I'm the one who brought about the death of civilization. This is why I didn't want to go home. Anyway, I thought Matt Damon was excellent.
Dude, that line after the sirens. Oh my God.
Even the whole scene with the sirens was just mwah. I was having this conversation with Taz afterwards. I was saying like there's this critique.
She must have been so far annoyed. She must have been
there was this. No, I mean she also enjoyed it. So there's this.
No, she enjoyed the movie. But when you hated your nerdy bag, I know, and it's just like, oh, this white boy's on the TV again. Oh, here we go.
I'm Eric Voss. You've been stuck with that. Anyway, I read this critique on Twitter of this guy who said, I love the movie, but I do feel like there could have been more that was put, especially in that scene with the sirens. Because what Matt Damon does afterwards, he's trying to explain what he heard. And he explains that it's one of the things that he talks about is like, the promise, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was very profound. But the promise of what you can't have versus, and then he hints at the idea of him not really wanting to go home. Right. And he was saying like, imagine if they had really, if Nolan had really explored the idea of Odysseus thinks he wants to go home, but he actually doesn't want to go home. And I was like, so I read that critique and I was like, dude, I think that was the whole point of that scene. That you can read into it. You can add that meaning to that scene.
What? Also, sorry, just so I can understand. Please repeat what the person said, so I just make sure I can drag them properly.
The person was saying
the last sentence.
He was saying, he says it was hinted or briefly mentioned that Odysseus he thought he wanted to go home, but he actually didn't want to go home. But in his view, what Nolan could have done is really explored what was said to him by the sirens that really made him not want to go home. And I was like, to me, what made that scene so powerful is the fact that we understood that without it being explicitly said. And not only that, it opened it up to our interpretation of what you want but can never have, or what you can never go back to. Or like, do you know what I mean? To me, it was such a powerful scene. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Matt Damon was a revelation.
It was.
Anne Hathaway overacted a little bit, but I don't hold anything against her.
I
don't hold anything against her. It was just a little bit, I want Odysseus. Like, okay, all right. Like, I get this is take 72 at this point, but cool. I don't know why people were ragging on Tom Holland. I think he played his role great as being this little confused guy who sort of grows into himself.
Yeah.
Pattinson,
so here's the
get
line.
These beggars out
It
of
is
here.
all the things you wanted it to be. All the things you wanted it to be, then all the things you wished for. It was the delicious itch you go to scratch that lies under the skin you can't reach. The itch becomes something unbearable. It told you what you want most is what you can't have, And what you most can't have is what you already had and lost. It was the song of all the promises that I failed to keep, and it told me I don't really want to go home. Bars.
I thought Robert Pattinson was also okay. Side note: I did wonder, like Matt Damon. Yeah, I know he's a good actor, but I don't know if this is the role for
Matt Damon.
He bodied that. He bodied Odysseus.
Matt Damon.
Robert Pattinson
No,
bodied
dude, I
that
wasn't
annoying
around.
suit or whatever. Somebody get these beggars out of here. Just, just.
No, all of no, dude. That whole movie, I don't lie. Man. He needs to, well, he kind of combined a few of the books, but he needs to do Iliad, and then he needs to redo Troy. Now he just needs to make this his MCU, because I saw a joke which is on the nerdy discussions that I came across where they're like, like Homer was the inventor of the first multi-universe saga. But dude, it was such a good movie, man. And let's watch it again.
I'm happy to go watch it again, but I want to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day as well. But I'm not yet ready. I haven't done all the catch-ups yet.
Actually, so I wanted to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day, but also it's been so busy, and I've been seeing so many tweets about people complaining about kids going, and so I was like, hey, let me wait a week. Stupid me, not realizing next week school's closed in South Africa, so it's only going to get worse.
So if you guys pay attention to this kind of stuff, the Odyssey is just under $1 billion. Which is insane because it's a rated R movie. It's literal mythology. Like that's Christopher Nolan, you got one.
Not only that, it hasn't even opened in China yet. It's opening in China in 2
so I
weeks.
think they were saying that they project it to be around 1.7, which will be huge.
Yeah, the pre-sales in China have already crossed 600 million.
So the Odyssey, just under $1 billion. Brand New Day, which just launched. That one is out of here, bro.
I don't like in the Holland household. What
the
this year
household.
the Holland household is chowing money.
Hey, and they're still due to come. It's over. Anyway,
Chowing money.
Anyway,
Zendaya might have the biggest year ever.
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
well, I would argue
For
Robert Pattinson
Hollywood.
has had an insane. Well, maybe it's not been a year. Robert Pattinson has been a little bit over a year.
No, Twilight wasn't
No.
that big. No, Twilight was big because remember, we haven't unlocked China yet. So China is the dark horse in this that didn't exist back when Twilight was.
No,
was
I
being
know.
announced.
I'm not talking about Twilight.
And-
I'm talking about Batman. He just had a run of movies where he was killing it, and now he today dropped that pedophile movie. What's that? Primetime, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah, it dropped already?
The trailer
yeah,
for it dropped.
I saw a tweet. Is that
The
already
trailer
there?
dropped for it, not the.
Oh yeah, the
movie.
trailer. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not watching that.
Yeah. I mean, I never really watched Dateline or whatever it was called. So
Catch a Predator. Yeah.
sorry, my bad. All right.
But I think dude, we've
Now we
we've done a lot.
pushed. I think
That was good.
really, I just wanted to talk about the Odyssey.
That was good. I know Salif Keita's coming. I can't wait to see that. Unplugged is back. Can't wait to see that.
This
What
weekend
else-
is
what else did we just do?
Zim Hip Hop versus Zim Dancehall.
Oh yeah, the yeah. All the best to all parties involved.
All right, no, we can wrap it up there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode. We hope you enjoyed our little ramblings back and forth. If you haven't watched the Odyssey, please go see it. Highly recommend. Really enjoyed it. Nolan outdid himself. Babes, can we name our daughter Christine Nolan? She says yes. All right. We'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next.
And ladies and gentlemen, you've now seen it live. This is how Zim names are made. This is how it happens. This is literally how a Zim name is made. So when you've come across a Marvelous or a Take Sure or a Pride More,
Marvelous
this is
now
how they
makes
win it.
sense if you're a fan of MCU, you know? All right. No, seriously, ladies and gentlemen,
exactly.
thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next one. We are both on the road, so this is actually even a mission. The fact that we're making this work. Actually, I want to experiment. Maybe next episode, I'm going to experiment with some portable mics. If that works, then it can save a lot of issues. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll catch you in the next
Nice
one.
one, my G. Appreciate. Thank you guys. We out. Aha.